What's crack YouTube? I'm Relative G and this is my Raw Super Show review. Here's a quick rundown at what went down. AJ talking a lot to herself, trying to figure out who she had more feelings with, Kane, Daniel Bryan, or CM Punk. I wouldn't particularly care who she liked. Vickie Guerrero is announced that she is the SmackDown and Raw General Manager for this week from the WWE Board of Directors, and the first match of the night would be Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, and Kane in an elimination match. The match lasted for a good 15 minutes. It was interesting, but why would you make that the first match? I just don't get it. It was at the end, AJ comes translating around like she always do with Kane, and distracting him, goes back out. CM Punk's put the GTS on Kane, eliminates him, but then gets eliminated by Daniel Bryan by getting kicked upside the head. Daniel Bryan wins the match and he gets the right to face CM Punk at Money in the Bank for the WWE title. Then we get a match between the Big Show versus Brodus Clay, and this was not much of a match at all because you think Brodus Clay was there to get his revenge after Big Show put him out of action several weeks ago. Almost the same thing but worse. The match counted and Big Show beat him. You got rookie versus veteran. During the commercial, he gets whacked by Big Show's fist and he's knocked out. Match between Santino Marella against Jack Swagger for the United States Championship, and this is Santino's first title defense since April. This was not much of a match either. I mean, back and forth, but Santino just came back and put the Cobra on the All-American America and he beats him. Then we get a little thing with Dolph Ziggler and Alberto Del Rio seeing which one of those two will fight Shane. They're arguing back and forth. Next thing you know, Vickie Guerrero announces that those two would be wrestling and it will be a stipulation that have a contract involved. Whoever gets the contract and has control wins the match and has the right to face Shane. The John Cena. This talking about John Laurinaitis, him being the evil duel of the Empire, and he was referring to from Star Wars of him and being Darth Vader, and he's talking about Big Shows, talking about Luke Skywalker, and like, what is he doing? I mean, he's cracking the WWE universe, but he's like, what is he actually saying? So he's interrupted by the return of Chris Jericho, and Jericho comes out and says the same thing. What are you talking about, John Cena? And John Cena eventually just came out flat out and said his announcement was that he would put his name in the hat for the Money in the Bank ladder match. Had Money in the Bank, and Chris Jericho, he went ahead and did the same thing, and these two went on and on until Vickie Guerrero says, I call the matches and whatever, and you two will be facing each other later on in the show. And she announces that it was going to be two Money in the Bank ladder matches, one for the WWE Championship and one for the World Heavyweight Championship. And the first one would be the one's former champions, which was Kane, Big Show, Chris Jericho, John Cena, and I forget the other name. But on this night, they will face each other later on. So these two are facing each other for the first time in 2 years. Why is the WWE keep on having these wrestlers facing each other after they face each other years and years? It's just the same shit every single time. When is it going to be changed? You got these newcomers who's looking to do some work, and you keep putting these old workhorses facing each other. It's like, come on, what is going on? When does it take? Brock Lesnar will be at Raw next week to either accept or dismiss challenge to Triple H at SummerSlam. We just have to wait and see what will take place. So we get Heath Slater. He's wrestling the legends. Why is the WWE having Heath Slater wrestle these legends? He wrestled Vader 2 weeks ago. He was into a little action with Roddy Piper with Cyndi Lauper last week. This week he's facing Psycho Sid. And I thought, this man is dead. No, it's what my client was meant. So Psycho Sid come out with a jean jacket and hair all on his, like little fuzzy hair all on his chest, and he really looked completely washed up, and I just don't get it. He was not ready to wrestle at all, but yet Heath Slater did what he could to beat Psycho Sid, but the powerbomb ended Slater's night, and oh boy, Psycho Sid, just not the same. AJ tells Kane she really has feelings for him, but Kane is not boyfriend material, so he dismisses her, and AJ is not crying, she's laughing. Like I said, I really care about that. Alright, we get the Divas in a battle royal with the Divas looking all luscious. Oh, great. Vickie Guerrero puts herself into this match as well, and she had on like a little cougar little bathing suit, and everybody was like, oh, really? It was at the end. It was AJ, Vickie Guerrero facing each other one-on-one. Vickie thought she was going to win, but AJ proved her wrong. She wins the Divas Battle Royal Beach match. The main event, John Cena and Chris Jericho. Really, these matches tonight, not all that great, but they put on a good show for the fans, but really not for me. This Big Show comes out, and like you said, with his contract, he could do anything he wants, and he put the big leg drop on Cena as Chris Jericho had him in the walls of Jericho, and Big Show disqualifies Chris Jericho. So John Cena did win the match, but he was assaulted by Big Show with some type of chokehold and whatever, and eventually he gets choked. This week's Raw Super Show, I was not really wild about it. I mean, it could get better before Money in the Bank. I hope so. But this week, it's a 6. And just, they got to get better. They got to get these studs, these young wrestlers just trying to prove a point, and it's just the same old shit every time. What are y'all thoughts? I mean, post your comments. Let me know what y'all think. I'm just baffled by tonight's Raw Super Show. But I'm Raw 2G. Post, subscribe, come back next week for more on the Raw Super Show review. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.